Hey YouTube, it's camera guy Curt, and I'm not using the camera today, Matt is. And that's because I'm going to show you what I mostly do in Olympus Reptiles, and that is take care of all the rats. If you notice, this is a lot bigger room than what we had before, and that's because we're actually at Manhattan Reptile World, and this is where our rat production moved to. And here we have 122 tubs, and you can see all the rats we have in here. These are ARS racks, and these are basically what we're going to try to move to. We have some of these racks where Matt calls them really janky racks, and they kind of are. We've had these for a long time. If you can see, like over here on, which one was it? This one right here. Or I've had to actually repair the racks, the tubs, because they chew on these. So I just take some of this mesh that we use on the top and just fix it here, and we're able to still use the tubs. The nice thing about these racks is that they can't chew on these, the angles of these. The rats can't get their teeth on there, so they don't chew up these tubs. And if you kind of look, you're kind of saying like, oh, well, there's no food. Well, all the food is back here, and they have trays. So these racks are on wheels, and we actually pull them out, go through, fill up all the trays, and then the watering system is all right here. We produce a lot more rats here. We're probably producing, I don't know, 4 or 5 times what we did at my place. And that's because this feeds our snakes, it feeds the shop snakes, and then it also feeds the community that come in and buy rats from us. And then over here, like at our old place, we had African soft furs, and we still produce them here. You can see that there's a lot of babies back here. And then one thing we have here that we didn't have at ours is mice. Now for the production of all these, we do go through a lot more food. We're probably going through, I don't know, 8 or 9 bags a week. But you know, it takes that much food to feed all these rats. And what we've kind of noticed is that if you can keep a constant food in here, the rats are going to produce more. They're not worried about it. If they run out of food, then they're like, oh, well, you know, we can't produce as many babies because we don't have food to feed them. We also have these watering systems, which makes it really nice. We have a hose that we take and fill up all the buckets. And then I have to fill these about every 2 to 3 days. It's a lot better than doing all the little, all these little water bottles like I did before. It's just a lot better system. These right here are all the ones that we're selling. So if someone comes in to buy a rat, these are the ones that we have for sale. At some point in the near future, we're going to be producing enough rats to where we're going to actually have to freeze them. And then we'll, you know, we also sell frozen rats through the shop too. You know, I spend about 10 to 15 hours a week in here cleaning, and it does take quite a few hours to come in here and clean them all. But one thing I've really found out is if you can clean, I try to clean each of these tubs about every 7 to 10 days. You know, I don't want to get any over 10 days. And the reason why is because if the rats have a really, really good, clean environment, they're going to produce more and they're going to be a lot more healthy. We found out that we have a lot less rats die. And, you know, you are going to have rats die. Mostly what we have are the rats are getting older and they're dying because of older age. You don't want to open up a tub and have a lot of, like, younger rats or like some of the babies dying. The nice thing about here is we also have this big tub where we put all these in here, and it's a lot nicer. It's a lot more better way to wash them all out. When I clean the tubs, you know, I dump all the substrate out. We bring it in here. I wash it with hot water, and then we use some like antibacterial soap that just gets it all cleaned out, and then we put new substrate in. And I probably go through about, I don't know, 4 or 5 bags of those a week. And, I maybe, do a little bit, I don't know, over, but I'd rather do, have the rats cleaner than, having them, not as clean. But, that's mostly, what we've been doing here is just trying to get everything, more efficient, more clean, and just try to produce, better rats for our snakes. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment. If you want to know anything more about our operation or something that I didn't explain, let us know. Do you have any questions, Matt?
Oh, I'm going to have questions. Something I don't get to do very often. So you said you spend about 10 to 15 hours here a week, correct?
Yes.
How much more is that than what you would spend at the old place when we had our own production?
At our old place, I'd spend maybe 4 or 5 hours a week, and I would just do it in one day. Here, I have another job that I do, and I get off work and I come here and spend 3 or 4 hours at a time cleaning it. And if I had this where it was like how it's set up here is a little bit more efficient, so I can do a lot more rats, and it just takes less time having everything set up here. And eventually we're going to get to where we're going to want to move out of this room and produce more, and we'll be buying the bags by pallets. We'll be buying the litter that we use by pallets, and then hopefully we'll be producing a lot more rats. That's basically what I'm excited about. Matt's really excited about the snakes. I like to produce snakes and different colors, and eventually we'll get to be where we're producing stuff that we've wanted to for a long time. But with the snakes, it seems like like I'm working on some projects with the ghost and exantic and stuff like that, and those are going to take 5, 6, 7 years to actually see what I've wanted to produce a long time. Here, there's some rats that I mix like different colors and trying to get like different stuff breeded into them, and I can see that within months. So it's a lot easier on the ASFs, and then we're producing a lot different colored. You can come look at I opened up this tub of our mice. These are just white mice. We're producing a lot of other like different colored mice too. You got some oranges, some grays, some black, different striped mice.
They're all hiding from the camera.
Yeah.
Speaking of the genetics, do we have any special rat genetics?
We do have some. I don't know where we moved them to, but we had some Dumbo rats, and we do actually have some hairless rats here, and a lot of people don't like how they look, but this is one of the males.
Now, Curt, why do you think people may not like the way they look?
I don't know. They just look, I don't know, kind of like a ball sack or something.
That's right. They're like the rat version of a scrotum. Sorry, guys, it's my bad humor, but
And then one thing we do too is we always try to keep something in here for them to chew on. They chew out of the tubs a lot less. Here's another hairless one. And I don't know, what we found is that for the hairless ones, and this is just what we found out, other people might have more success, but the female hairless ones don't produce as much as the ones with the fur. So basically we just kind of keep the males as breeders, and then the females we usually try to sell off. On these tubs are bigger, they're a lot longer, and we try to keep 3 adult rats in here, and that's going to be 3 females and 1 male.
Now, one thing you mentioned is that you really like the rats, more so almost than the snakes. I mean, you prefer to do the rat production, and you've kind of really found a lot of joy in producing these. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all, pretty nice. You can tame rats. I've seen videos of where they've done, you can teach them how to do tricks. They can learn their names. They can learn, a lot of cool stuff.
Now, with that, though, did you expect that when we first started breeding rats, or was that a surprise?
That was a surprise. Like when we first started doing snakes, we would order in all of our rats frozen, so we would thaw them out, and we just didn't really mess with the live rats that much. So when I got the idea, is like, well, why keep spending money buying rats when we can just produce our own? So then I ended up building some racks, and we bought some rats to breed. And then I just kind of really liked them. They're pretty amazing creatures. They really take care of their young, and just all the different colors they come in, and they're really, really curious creatures. And I hardly ever, you eventually do get, one that will bite you. But that's mostly because they're afraid and they're just trying to defend themselves. They're not doing it because they're mean.
And I'll be honest, for us guys, it really worked out nice, because when we started breeding rats, and Curt kind of found that he had a love for these rats and doing this, it's great, because I honestly don't. I mean, I appreciate what they are, and I can't do what I want to do without them. But rats aren't where my heart is. Mine is definitely in the snakes. But for each of us to enjoy an aspect of what this is that are so dependent upon each other, I think it makes the business run much smoother. That we each have something we enjoy doing. We help each other out on each project, but it makes it run smoother as we both kind of know what the other one's doing, but we both have things we love about it. Makes you good to work with, Curt.
Yeah, we both have our own little aspects that we, focus on in the company, and it seems to work out pretty good.
One thing you don't know, although Curt's done a bitchin' job on this video, he dreads every time I make him get in front of the camera.
Yeah, it's not my specialty. I'd rather be filming than be in front of the camera. But I know more and more I'm going to have to be in front of the camera too. Yep. So
especially with rats, because the guy knows more about rats and everything else. Than I do, and he's probably forgotten more about rats than I'll ever know. So.
Oh, and one more thing I want to say is we do have a big exhaust fan in here, and if you keep the rats clean, it does keep the smell down a lot. But just having so many rats, there is going to be kind of an odor. And what we did, we turned off the fan to do this do this video, because it does create a little bit of noise. But if you do have rats, and even just a small production, you do want to have some good ventilation, just to keep the air in here clean, and just so it doesn't smell so bad either.
Very true.
And we also have, if you want to look in here, we do guinea pigs.
They're kind of cute, I'll admit it.
But so if you have any questions, just leave a comment, and we'll do our best to try to answer them. But thank you for watching, and subscribe. Give us a like, and just continue watching.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.